All right. Hello. Good evening. Oh no, I'm just making this video right here. I'm making a video um, today because a lot of important stuff's come up. Like I said, I've made a lot of videos in the past. This one is super important. Just 1 second. Um, I have to move some of these books I got. I got a lot of books today. I found a lot of these books at thrift stores and like two different thrift stores and this kind of like flea market type setup thing that they had here. That's where I get most of my my books and reading material. That's the only place nowadays, really, unless you specifically go to look for certain titles or certain subjects. That's the only place you'll really find like large amounts of just general study, general study kind of stuff. And when I go and I do this, I find quite a bit of material, like very broad, but yet very specific material. It all kind of, for some reason, it just ends up, stemming down to it's the older books. And back then, it wasn't as things weren't as how do you say it? Um, Things weren't as complicated as they are today. The medical sciences were fairly condensed. It was kind of you had a lot of the same, within certain issues or conditions or illnesses, and it wasn't as broad as it is today, where we have just condition after condition after condition, and just something that's kind of steps off of one and goes into a whole other condition unto itself. Ends up getting, maybe reclassified as something in and of itself. It's almost like, they separate things on purpose. I don't know if it's, excuse me for saying that, if it's very pointed, but whether it's on purpose or not, like I said, it's everything is compartmentalized, and it's almost like they're, I don't know, like I said, they may keep it away from each other in order not to cross the symptoms, things like that. But at the same time, if the symptoms are crossing, then you have, kind of you're kind of starting to see a common denominator. Basically, what I'm talking about today is because, like I said, they've been going hard on me, the voices in my head. Like I said, it's very pointed now. I speak openly about it all the time now. I hide nothing. I don't pull any punches, like I said, because I'm just getting threatened with my life and that of my family and my children, night and day. And today was I've had a pretty rough day. They're just lighting me up left and right because of the information that I'm getting, and because of the I guess it's running into some sort of timeline for them. I don't know what it is, but awareness is coming. And like I said, I'm going to do everything I can to bring this awareness to as many people as I can, because that's all I can do. They're threatening my life, and today was a rough day. They are physically, systematically murdering people, and I'm one of them. Like I said, if anything happens to me, it was because of this information right here, like I said, and because of who they know me to be. Somebody stated earlier, and I'll point this out. Like I said, they've been pointed. I'm not afraid of these people anymore. Like I said, it's according to this individual, it's the nations of the world. That's what this individual on the line in my head said, because all I said, my statement was, all I'm doing is speaking my mind. And so long as I have the ability to do that, I'm going to do that. And the individual on the line in my head, I call it the line because it's almost like it sounds exactly like people are passing, like either switching back and forth on a phone, or like passing a phone back and forth, almost like a cellular phone. It would almost be like somebody just handing the phone off to somebody in the room, and then they start talking. That's how it is in my head. It's like a two-way conversation, direct. It's like a direct connect in your head. Like, Boost Mobile, when they had the little chirp, except you don't get the chirp. Somebody just starts talking in your head, and it's like you're having a conversation in your head. They're trying to run people insane. That's how they run them insane. That's how they distract people, and what they do is they bring you to a breaking point in your head. They jog your head. They keep your mind completely occupied, distracted, and it's just like somebody's in your head speaking constantly, day and night, 24/7. And that doesn't allow you to get any REM sleep. You don't get to go into full REM. That means your mind is mentally taxed all day long. The only thing you can do is sleep, but it's jerky. You're jumping. You're like, they have such a thing called fatal insomnia, and that's what they're trying to do. That's what they do to people like me. That's how they silence people like me. My health is taking a toll. I'm like I said, I'm still 41 years old. I'm still going, and I'm going to as so long as I can. But if anything happens to me, it's because they systematically are picking me apart and trying to murder me. They're trying to silence me. They won't call it murder. They'll just say it's because they say that I'm a threat to the foreign what do they say to the foreign policy. They said that I'm guilty of treason already, which they said that they've, I guess, evidently had some sort of closed door sessions in absentia or something. I've been guilty and convicted of treason, and that I'm already sentenced to death, and that's what they're doing, carrying out my death sentence. This is how they're doing it. They just tax your mind, run you into insanity, and yet leave me out here amongst people. And like I said, and that's it. Come on now, and like I said, and that's, they can say whatever they want, because like I said, and I will be so bold as to say this, because this is exactly what they do. This is how they corner people. I was at the house that I was living at. I'm in a hotel right now, as you can see right here. This is part of my belongings. You can see that poster is just torn up, ripped, burnt. I have all my books. All my books are charred. Like all this stuff right here. This stuff is completely charred. These books are burnt, charred. This is a record that I had up in my house, completely burnt and charred. And you see, they want to go to bat. They want to go to bat with me and try to say that I'm a threat to people. My housemate passed away just a couple nights ago in a house fire. The house that I was staying at, that individual was renting, started on fire. This individual started going downhill really fast, just like I did years back. Luckily, I was able to figure out what was going on. After a couple of hospital stints, I've been to prison. I've been incarcerated in jail, county jail, for quite a while. I've done a prison stint. I've had a couple of psych evals that I was medically cleared on everyone. I believe there was 2 or 3. But they try to run me downhill real fast. And funnily enough, and excuse me, it's not funny at all, but oddly enough, or coincidentally enough, the individual that I was living with started to experience much of the same conditions, and he started going downhill really fast. I have a bunch of audio in my Google Drive, and it's under S as in Stephen, the letters S, Paul, my last name Elias, Elias 831 @gmail.com. It's in my Google Drive. And I'll write it down and then I'll show it to you here. This is the actual Google Drive. So if anybody sees this and wants to investigate, if it's gone, you know why. So the audio of this individual and his decline in mental health, I mean, really fast, in a matter of like a month or even like 3 weeks. He just went down like hill really quick, and that's what they do. He started. It appears it's still under investigation that he was in the house doing something. He started locking me out of the house. He became very violent, threatening, aggressive, threatening against me, and actually turned kind of violent against a female that was living there as well. He pulled an axe and a knife out on the female and her boyfriend that was there one night. I started going camping out at a lake near the house because I couldn't get any sleep. Me and a female, like I said, I don't want to state names or things like that, but like everything will check out. Like I said, I only keep very, very limited company, down to one person. And so, like I said, I'm not going to drop names here. It's not important. My relationship with that individual is very important, and me keeping that how do you say it, privacy unto myself is important as well. So like I said, if that gets looked into later, so be it. Everything will check out. But like I said, the individual I was living with, his started going mentally declined very quickly, and I mean like I said, he didn't. I don't believe he was aware of what was happening to him, much like I was, yeah, a couple years ago. But the only thing that saved me was when I got locked up. Say, that kind of switched the gears because now I'm in a controlled environment, incarcerated. So I was able to kind of settle down and breathe a little bit. I wasn't at that time introducing, some of the substances that I was doing, things like that, because that's a lot that is involved in this, because you're trying to escape the reality that's going on in your head. I'm not making excuses, like I said. Substance abuse is dangerous, things like that. Especially with what's going on. That's one of the things they use heavily. They rely upon. It opens up your mind, and they can access vast, much more. They have much more access to your mind. It's almost like you lower the inhibitions. Your mind is strong. When you're sober, your defenses are up. Of any intrusion, things like that. When you start using drugs, things like that, you open up all the gateways, all the doors, and they just, it's a floodgate. You open the floodgates for these people, and they go to town. And like I said, it is relentless and it is ruthless. But that is what they do. And they took off on my housemate, unfortunately. And next thing you know, he's threatening me. He's pulling knives out on the other housemate we had there, axes and knives. And he just, like I said, I have tons of audio. You can hear him. I mean, he's not of himself. He just, something was occupying his mind, and it was driving him nuts. They wouldn't let him be. And that's what it is. That's what they do to me. That's what they do to my family, evidently, according to their statements. And that's what they do to my son and my daughter. They openly state that they do it to my son, who is 6 years old. And they say, what the fuck are you going to do about it? They say, we will fuck up all your kids until all of you shut up, until you're all silenced, until you're all dead. And they say, if any of you come and bring awareness, we will kill you and all your family members. And these are the governments of the world, according to this one individual at least. Because like I said, all I said is, I'm going to speak my mind while I have the ability to do so. I'm speaking on truth. And this individual came back and said, I quote, against the governments of the world. While individual, whoever that is, who refuses to name himself, just spoke for all the governments of the world. He said, against the governments of the world. Can you imagine somebody saying that? Can you imagine the implication of that? And he just said, in order to try to scare me and to back me up, he said, against the governments of the world. So now the governments of the world united are systematically killing people to try to suppress the truth and to try to silence individuals. And they're putting individuals like this as spokesperson, against somebody that's just trying to speak the truth. When families are being threatened, children are being threatened, all the evidence is there. Children are being harmed egregiously. This is the biggest human rights violations ever committed, ever on anybody in the history of time. It will stand as that will stand of any time, of any place in history. They know exactly who I am. They know me by name. They know why, because literally everything's been written about me since like way back. My initials of my name are Hope in Latin, SPE, Stephen Paul Elias, which is Hope in Latin. You can do the math on that. My last name is Elias, which is Elijah in Hebrew. Before the dreadful day, all that stuff. If you're a believer, like I said, do the math. You will find so many parallels. My parents owned a restaurant in San Juan Bautista, California, which is St. John the Baptist, who was baptized by Christ. I can explain how these individuals have been suppressing and withholding the second coming of Christ, or at least the message of Christ. Like I said, there was a magazine that just came out. I hate to be but like I said, it's a long line of providence, divine providence. The magazine said, Christ's message is hope for the future. And I believe that is true. Christ would always have hope for the future, hope for mankind. Like I said, the message will always get through. My name is literally Hope by namesake. My last name, like I said, is Elijah as well, translated Elias. Some of the newer versions of the Bible are actually, to separate the Old and the New Testament, use Elias in the New Testament. in place of Elijah, just to show the break. I mean, and the difference in the Old and the New Testament. And like I said, my name is literally there. If you look up some of the ancient orders, like I said, the Rose-Croix, some of the Rosicrucians, things like that. It's my hope is in God. And then you look up some of the archangels, Metatron, Sandalphon, things like that. If you look up Metatron, the highest of the archangels, he is the closest one to God. He dwells in the same heaven as God does. Evidently, I mean, like I said, I've never, I can't speak on that. I've never been, but I hope to one day. Like I said, I'm spoken for like no other, like no one ever. Excuse me. His motto is, one of the things that is attributed to him is, "My name is in him," and like I said, and everything will funnel back to one individual, and that you will find me in much of that. Like I said, Metatron had a twin brother, Sandalphon, which is like I said, the twin brother of the basically the smaller of, they kind of went hand in hand. So Sandalphon was inspirited Elijah, I believe it was Elijah, when Elijah was here on earth, was mortal, was a human. Sandalphon inspirited Elijah, and Metatron inspirited Enoch. And so you have the connection there. Like I said, and Metatron, which is the hardest of the archangels, which goes back to Freemason. All these things will start, esoterics, everything will start coming into order, into line. Sandalphon, like I said, and Metatron, you have in Freemason and in some of the secret societies, you have the Skull and Bones, who go by the 322 Guardian Angel, the Guardian Angel 322 kind of way of belief, which is a very it's a generalized, condensed view of the entire belief system of some of these, like I said, of the Skull and Bones, things like that. You're basically guided and protected by these guardian angels, who do inspirit people. If you're a believer, like I said, they for the longest time, that's what the secret of these secret societies are. They can track. I mean, not track nowadays with technology. I believe they can. They can literally, through educated assessments and things like that, they can literally track the who is inspirited by, or who is being influenced or blessed by, like I said, divinely inspirited by, and as they call it, embodied. Like I said, I make no bones about who I am. I'm divinely chosen. I'm one of the smartest individuals you'll ever meet. That's not a boastful thing, but for anybody to look at me and to say otherwise, simply because of the way I look, things like that, I've been through a lot. I'm highly educated unto myself. Like I said, I mean, you can see here, I got stacks and stacks and stacks of books. You look over there, I got stacks and stacks of more books down. I'm having, there you go, more books there. You got more books over here. I got crates of books over here. I'm, like I said, you don't just get an education by paying tuition and going to, some high-end school, some Ivy League school. You can educate yourself, and that's what I encourage everybody to do. Never stop educating yourself. Intelligence is crucial. As soon as you lose intelligence, you're just, I hate to say it, but you kind of fall into the crowd. That's fine. It's not for everybody. You don't have to. Excuse me. I'm not calling anybody out. You can take one look at me. I've been to prison. I don't spend countless hours, sitting at a desk, being a nerd. You know what I mean? I'm from the streets. I can handle myself, out on the street. I can handle myself in an intelligent conversation. I can handle myself on any level. Like I said, I put all this stuff together. I'm highly intelligent. I'm not, they're going to make me out. One of these days, they're going to have to speak on this, and they're going to try to make me out to be all sorts of things because of what they know. Things that they know that they got by scouring our minds, surveilling our minds. They basically reverse engineered the entire human anatomy, human body. They can see through our eyes, because our eyes, it's a very simple process. Our eyes are directly connected to our brain, as you know, the left and the right side on binocular vision. So you have the left and the right side in each eye. That's why sometimes you'll see me, if you look very closely, sometimes one of my eyes will be smaller than the other. Many of you will experience the same thing. That means that they're actually accessing your mind at that time. They're accessing your mind. They have access to your mind. and they're straining basically one side of your brain, and by looking through your eyes and by thinking, with your left or your right side, they're manipulating either the left or right side of your brain. One of your eyes will get smaller, or one of your eyes will get bigger, and you'll see a difference of shape and size. That means they're actually in your brain and they're straining. From what I can gather, that would be my best educated guess. They're straining your mind. They're taxing your mind. You're medically. It can be you can be being affected. It can be dangerous. Like I said, they're making physiological changes in your body. Like, I mean, that you can actually notice. They're having, they use electrochemistry these days. They use resonance. They use the Wi-Fi, cellular, all the energy that's around you, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. That's why 5G is coming out so hard. 5G has, like, I think they said over 100 different frequency levels and zones that they can traverse up and down, like it's like a roller coaster. The other frequencies that they use right now prior to 5G, I don't know how many they access, but nowhere near as close. 5G, they're saying, is taking everything by storm. That's because they can access every single part of you. They can just blast that energy right through you. They can manipulate your red blood cells, our blood plasma, and our platelets are kinetic. That means we actually, they're like conductors. They can turn us into like semiconductors, literally. Look at ionospheric heaters. Ionospheric heaters that manipulate, or that hyper-energize plasma. Evidently, supposedly, the plasma is in the cosmos. Take it for what it's worth. Read between the lines. Are they activating the atmosphere and the plasma in the cosmos, or are they activating the kinetic energy in our blood plasma, which gives them access to our oxygen saturation levels, ozone, suicide? Ozone and suicide, I have a feeling, are going to be connected one day. This is my assessment. That would be my educated assessment, that the ozone levels in our body, almost like oxygen saturation levels, the ozone levels in our body are going to be linked to suicide. That despair, that feeling of despair and hopelessness, that's an actual heartbreak. That you just can't. You want to. You feel like you want to burst inside. That's your body just being saturated with ozone. They're manipulating that. That's how they drive people to suicide. It's a suicide solution. There's songs that have been written about it. Like I said, it may not have been as direct, but people understand this in many different ways. And like I said, suicide, the rates have been going up exponentially. I mean, it just everything's taken off, and these people are taking off on people medically. They're murdering people, to include children. And like I said, I will put that on my name. Like I said, I'm not here to spread hate and discontent and to call out any governments of the world. I'm here to spread peace and understanding. And the only way that we're going to do that is with awareness and to understand how we got here, how it affects people, and going forward, what does this mean for everybody? Evidently, they're saying that I'm going to kick off Armageddon because of who I am. They said the only way that God or anyone close to that, being Metatron or Sandalphon, things like that, they're going to have to come out and speak on this, because they're the ones keeping the secret for the secret societies, these the Freemasons, they're interlocked with all the, they may be. I can't speak on that for sure. I'm not invited. I'm not a member. I just, like I said, I do this through understanding, through reading, through everything that I see and observe. It's there for everybody. It's observable by, to everybody. All you have to do is pick up books, read, and educate yourself. Like I said, go get a Freemason if you can get your hands on one. Get a Freemason Bible. I got one at the local Goodwill. Funnily enough, I mean, it's not funny, but you look at the like I said, that you got to keep your. I mean, if it affects me, I'm gonna look into it. And like I said, I'm gonna grab everything that I can, as I see it, and I'm gonna find out, what is affecting me. So like I said, some of these books. Here's another book. War Against the Weak. Eugenics and America's Campaign to create a master race. Just a second. All right, you'll have to excuse me. Somebody just stopped by. I'm sure they'll tell you about it at some point. Like I said, I'm not here to lie. I'm not here to blow smoke, smoke and mirrors, or play this game. Like I said, they threaten my family, they threaten my children. My son is 6 years old. Wrong answer. I don't care if you are the nations of the world, if you're the governments of the world, kill me. I don't care. You're going to make an example out of me. At this point, you're going to make a martyr out of me because, like I said, there's plenty of divine providence. I'm not here to screw around. You know what I mean? You want to talk business. You want to play that game. You want to threaten families. You want to threaten the lives of everybody around me. Go outside your doors, people, ladies and gentlemen. Look around. You've all been threatened. I can tell you that personally, and I'm saying that right now, Stephen Paul Elias Sr., the embodiment of God here on earth, Metatron Sandal Fund. I have divine providence for all this. The governments of the world, like I said, are going to do one of two things. They're going to kill me, make a martyr out of me. One day this is going to come out, or they're going to try to call me to court, call me to task, bring me to task, and try to call me a liar, demean, defame me. They're going to do everything to demean me, defame me. It's all going to be negative. It's all going to be negative. You know why? Because they have nothing. They can't. They're stuck. It's going to be a freaking witch hunt. It's going to be just a modern day. Like I said, that's all it's ever been. I've been doing this for 5 years now. They've been threatening my life for 5 years, and I've been trying to stay a step ahead. And I have. Like I said, I've been in prison because of this. I won't say because of this. I made my own choices, free will. Like I said, I'm not going to make excuses. I make none. They're gonna bring some gnarly information against me. And like I said, I've made my peace with this world, and I made my peace with my Maker. Excuse me. And I'm okay with who I am. My conscience does not sit well, like I said, but that's why I do what I do, because I'm a man of accountability, and I do that every single day of my excuse me, every single day of my life, and that's the way it's going to be. And you're not going to threaten my family, and you're not going to threaten my life and think that I'm going to be scared, and back off and not bring awareness to my fellow man. I'm sorry, like I'm a better person than that. I'm not afraid. So like I said, all I can do, ladies and gentlemen, and I mean this with the utmost respect, is bring awareness to you. And if this, like I said, if maybe it's been brought to you in a different way and you understand it differently, or you agree with some of the things that are going on, I'm not an enemy. Like I said, I don't consider you an enemy. All is forgiven on my side. Like I said, I understand why some of the people have some of the feelings that they do. Message. I hold the same unto myself, and that's just the way it's gonna be. But like I said, funnily enough, a little side note here. This is amazing. That's why I say always go out and look and observe, and if you want it, it's out there. This is inside this book right here. I wrapped it up. Sorry, U.S. Postal Service. It's not what that's for. But like I said, I'm an honest person. Yeah, I kind of take those and use them for things other than. See, like I said, these are the things that they've threatened my life on. When I went to go get these, because it's Tyvek. So this is a first edition of Truman Capote's In Cold Blood. I found it at the local Goodwill. I got it for like $2.99. When I went to wrap it up in this Tyvek envelope, somebody of the nations of the world threatened my life because they said that I was stealing from the United States Postal Service an envelope. Guilty as charged. Sorry. It's Tyvek. I just wanted to protect the book, and for that, like I said, from some representative of a nation in this world, my life was threatened, and my family's as well, and my son and my daughter. They said that my daughter was going to be raped and that my son was going to be mentally incapacitated, that I would never even recognize him because of this envelope. And and literally this individual said, that's all it takes. So ladies and gentlemen, that's where we've gotten in this world today, because God has showed his mighty hand, like I said, and like I said, and it's going to rain down on all these fools. Like I said, if you come out talking against people's families like that, please excuse me if I'm passionate. You don't call somebody's family out like that. Only a fool says things like that, and they'll say that it's for foreign policy. It's for the sake of the world. That basically what all they're saying is that the whole system is set up as an illusion. If each individual country cannot speak truth unto itself, and then they have to join together in some mass crusade against individuals with the truth, like myself, something's gone terribly wrong. If individual nations can no longer support themselves and their own truth and their own standing and footing in this world, and don't have to go out on a campaign to silence individuals such as myself for speaking the truth, then I'm sorry, something is majorly amiss in this world, and something needs to be done about it. The only thing that's ever going to be bring that into correct alignment is awareness, and the people need to know. They most from what I mean from what is put forward, governments are there to protect their people, not to band together and threaten individuals from different countries. I'm disappointed in my country to say the very least, because I can assure you, I've been abandoned by my country. The leaders of my country are listening right now. They're being kept aware and abreast of exactly what's happening. I'm on the radar 100%. I'm one of the most hated and vile individuals, according to my own government, in the nation today. Like I said, I'll let them speak on that. I'm speaking my truth. They can speak theirs at some time. Whether I'm here to represent myself or to defend myself in any way, shape, or form, I don't know. But like I said, if they have the audacity to go and start pulling charges on me for certain things, then by all means do it. I'm not here to, like I said, I'm here to bring peace. I'm disappointed in my country. That's all I said. I'm not here calling for anybody to revolt or to overthrow governments, or don't act out. Civil, a simple civil sit out. Go sit on the steps of your courthouse and start asking your local governments what's affecting us here. I'm not saying that all the way down to a local level that it's all like a big conspiracy. That's not what it's about. But it's about going to the first step, which is your local government, raising these questions so that you now have a voice together, and then that will go to the start climbing. You get to the state level, and then the state level starts getting to the federal, and then you start accessing the things available to you. You start asking questions, and people are going to start having to answer some questions. And like I said, if people are being harmed, then we need to do something about it. Like I said, and that's all that I'm saying. I've had my excuse me. I've had my family threatened. I've had I've heard terrible things. People of like I said, these individuals are threatening my family. I've heard them say that they rape the minds of it's disgusting. When the truth does come out, it is going to be shocking, like I said, and unfortunately, it's going to cause that. That is what they are afraid of, because they have done experimentations upon human beings, living beings, in every way, shape, and form imaginable, in order to reverse engineer, to calibrate and tweak this system. It is the complete a huge portion of the medical sciences that has been used against us. We are on with all, like I said, with all this energy, with all this frequency. That is the kicker of that is the secret of many of these secret societies. It was at first it was the known factor that we communicate in some level on an even kill, call it a vibe, call it telepathic. We were on a symbiotic with the cosmos, with the earth, down to us, down to living beings, down to the as we know, the tidal the tidal flow, charts and waves and things like that. The ocean currents, is all symbiotic. If we're all living symbiotically, everything runs in perfect harmony. If we're all chaotic and upside down, everything is going chaotic. Their motto right here is order out of chaos. Like I said, I put that on myself simply because it's a reminder every day that I'm a part of this chaotic world, and I have done my share. Like I said, I've been to prison, and it's the daily reminder to me that I no longer live in chaos. It's backwards, as you can see. That was divinely done as well, because of me being the idiot that I am, thinking that I'm going to be a cool guy and get it done in prison. When I was incarcerated, we have those metallic mirrors, the metal mirrors, because us criminals, we start destroying everything. The metal mirror, it looks backwards. So when I looked at it in this metal mirror, it looked like it was going forward, and it looked right. So I had the guy tattoo it on my head, and like I said, divinely enough, that means the motto of that is order out of chaos, which is what they subscribe to. Many of them, or this whole process is cause the chaos, or they know about the chaos. It's like chaos theory. It all you can see it in many different ways. Some subscribe to the some just know and understand that the theory of chaos. The chaos theory is almost inevitable. Others, the harmful element, actually go out to cause this chaos, to cause a ruckus for the other everybody else that's understanding of this. it's a back and forth battle. It's the battle of good and evil, basically. And I hate to say that because some people are not going to like to be called evil, when they're not going to, they're going to see it as somebody being holier than thou and righteous. And then that's when you get into the threats of Armageddon, the threats of nation against nation. Like I said, and all we have to do is bring awareness and implore our governments not to get involved in religious ideology. Like I said, that's maybe shocking for some because, like I said, knowing who I am and who it will be revealed that I am, and that I am understanding of myself and many others in the governments, and to include my own, who I am to be. Like I said, that's all it is. It's religious ideology. It's what's caused much of this. Like I said, I'm being religiously persecuted, and I don't even fall within a religious boundary. I hate religion. Like I said, religion has caused some of the most, it's been, the cause of most of the bloodshed in this world for ages, and amongst other things. But it all, as we can sit here and see today, a lot of it comes down to religious aspects and angles of which I don't even subscribe to. I was raised in a Christian home, and I consider myself a Roman Catholic by, like I said, as I was designated from when I was I'm confirmed in the Catholic Church, things like that. When I was in the military, that was our designation. You look at my dog tags, it'll say Roman Catholic. Like I said, I'm confirmed in the Catholic Church, and things like that. So I don't run, I don't hide from that. But am I a religious individual? No, I'm a person of belief, and like I said, and that's personal unto myself. Like I said, I do go to places to worship, things like that. I go to church, not a big deal. Does that make me a religious, some religious, fanatic or zealot or anything like that? I'm not saying anybody else that subscribes to anything else or is passionately, speaks upon that either is that either. It's a passionate belief, and it's very sensitive, and it's very personal, and people, but like I said, if it's going to be ascribed to me, I'm taking a step back. I'm not going to put myself in a religious parameter, like I said, because like I said, I go over I do my personal, I have my own personal beliefs and ways of self, fulfilling that part of myself, in my own way, like I said, and I find that I do that just fine the way that I do it, like I said, and it should be of no concern to anybody else. It harms none. It shouldn't, because many do it. Like I said, it doesn't involve anything of anybody else. It doesn't revolve anything personal of anyone else. It doesn't ask anything personal of anyone else, other than I just go somewhere and I listen and I take the good from anything, that just like in the world of anything else. If somebody's standing on a street corner trying to sell something and you don't want it, you keep walking. If it's something that grabs your interest, you might stick around and listen a little bit, and it might be something that's useful to you. It might be something that you stick around and listen to. It might be something that you end up, finding something within. It's with everything, it's the same thing. In anything else in life, it's exactly the same. Some people don't like Mexican food. Some people don't like Italian food. Some people don't like this. Some people don't like that. You got to eat. So, like I said, at the end of the day, it's all it is. I hate to say it like that. And some people are going to take off, and it's all in understanding. Like I said, some people go to McDonald's every day. Some people cook at home. And like I said, and the part of it that's funny to me is this is going to be an inescapable truth for everybody that's going to try and drop religion anyway. It's not just about religion. Religion is built upon esoterics and many other aspects of belief, down to magic. Believe it or not, you're going to find forms of magic and esoterics. You're going to find all kinds of everything that ever is and that ever was. Werewolves, all this stuff, vampires. It is all born out of all these esoteric beliefs and some of this symbiotic nature with the universe. Everything that was ever spoken on, that ever has been, is real. Like I said, that may freak some people out, but like I said, the disease of a vampire. I don't know what the actual. I just studied it recently. That not a disease, or excuse me, that way of this understanding is real. Like I said, certain things. When it used to be that these things were few and far between. This was a disorder, a disease, a condition, a kind of an anomaly in a symbiotic a world, and it shows how one thing that something that gets a little that is not working symbiotically for some reason or other. When it starts getting away, it starts then it turns into something else. And like I said, when that symbiotic nature is manipulated and reintroduced or fabricated or is unnaturally introduced, or it's basically redone, it's reinvented, there's a bunch of ways to call it. It's basically renewed, it's made, see, they're not letting me get it right now. It's copied. It's basically a copy. That's why we have these ionospheric heaters, things like that. That's why we have all this energy around us, because Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. That's why our infrastructure is completely wireless. Anything wireless is basically symbiotic. Is supposed to be our symbiotic resonance. Our nature versus nurture has been completely hijacked, and we are now living within a walking MRI machine. Medical sciences are not at all as hard or as difficult as they seem. We are being medically surveilled, and they can tell you exactly what is wrong with you, down to, like something very close. Because the only way that we should be diagnosed these days with this system that's going on right now is they should just hit you up in the head and tell you, hey, you got this and this and this going on. They can do it. They do it to me all the time. See, we subscribe to the medical sciences. We see a doctor, and we tell this doctor exactly what's going on. They're specialists in a certain field, and all they do is they go up to the parameter of their field and never anymore. So if your leg is hurting, okay, or let's say you're getting headaches. Okay, you're getting headaches. You go to your primary care doctor. He's gonna take a MRI, a CAT scan. He's gonna do something in your head because you got these migraine headaches. If he sees anything anomalous in there, he's gonna send you off to a specialist. That specialist is gonna go a little further because he's gonna look into whatever the doctor, your primary care, your basic general practitioner found, things like that. He's gonna send you to a specialist. The specialist is gonna go in, so it gets handed off. Basically, what's happening now is they can just pretty much see right through you, and basically we're in a walking MRI machine. This is the truth. This will be certifiable. Like one day, this will be certifiable as fact. Like I said, and we got biometrics running. They got biometrics running on us 24/7, and it's basically a systematic, almost population control. Like I said, and for the people that get out of line. People like me, the criminals, stuff like that. And like I said, I account for my stuff in ways unimaginable every single day. And they may or they may not give that to me. And some may subscribe to it. Some may attest to it. Some may not. Some may say it's not enough. It's going to be a back and forth. It's like playing backgammon with somebody's life, all day long. And that's what the issue is here. And now they've literally sucked in children, families, down to children of single digits, like I said, and I can prove beyond preponderance of any evidence or evidential offerings that like I said, divinity is real. Like I said, down to certain things. Like I said, I don't want to get too deep because, like I said, I'm not going to do the same. I'm very personal in personal matters and family matters, things like that. But like I said, there are certain things that like I said, and that's why they threaten. Like I say. They threaten my family. They threaten my children. And if anything happens to us, we are martyrs. We are. I am divine. Like I said, I'm the head of my household. In many ways, I speak for them. I stand before them. Excuse me. Simply because I'm the one that's been divinely chosen. I'm the only one that's going to speak out on that at this time. Like I said, because I'm the one that's they're calling me. They came and they found me, and they came and they called upon me, and that is a fact as well. They found me. I did not find them. I woke up one day to the government or somebody in my head walking me through and indoctrinating me into this way of vigilante justice, as they call it. It's medical experimentation, basically, is what it is. It's eugenics. It's the most disgusting and egregious form of hijacking of the human body completely that people could ever imagine. Insanity is completely man-made and fabricated, it can be explained in a telepathic way as well. It may have been a bit natural, but it will be so few and far between compared to this unnatural source and this way of doing things. Like I said, schizophrenia, Alzheimer's, dementia, autism, all these things are almost nil. They're almost non-existent without all this wireless energy and all this other stuff. And now all they're going to offer is, we screwed it up so bad that there's almost no way to extricate ourselves out. So now it's time to announce to the world that we are in the end times. That ain't the way it works. They've withheld this vacuum of rapture, like I say. They've withheld this small, not small, but they've withheld this secret pocket of information and knowledge from the public. That's why right here, like I said on that poster right there, it says electric fire funeral. That's what they're gearing us up towards right now. That's what the rapture is. The electric fire funeral. They have the ability to drop masses of us, just boom, turn the light switch off like that. That's what I'm threatened with every single day. You got this is Black Sabbath the World Tour. Like everybody's been gearing up for this evidently, and they're saying that they've just been waiting for me to speak out on it because they're just going to go and pull the plug on all the unsavories and things like that. And if that's the case, then so be it. But like I said, I'm going to bring awareness to everybody, and I'm going to let everybody else know. As soon as the first round goes, guess what? You're in the breach because there's another one coming right after it, and there's another one coming right after it, and there's another one coming right after it. It doesn't matter what they say. If they're saying that it's only going to be, it's these first people because they got to go. Why? Why? Because awareness was reached? How did this come about? Where did this come from? Just one day everybody said, okay, we had enough and this is going to solve all the problems. You really think it's going to solve all the problems? They're going to say that certain things are genetic, certain things are this, certain things. Come on, people. You're smarter than that. You really think that crime is genetically linked? Crime or ways of thinking, things like that. It's going to continue. Just look at society right now. Yeah, they're doing a wonderful job, aren't they? All they're going to say is, well, we haven't done the first round of killings yet. That's the only thing they offer. Well, let's bring everybody to the killing floor. Are you serious? That's where we're at now? That's where we've gotten these days? Oh, we haven't reached awareness, proper awareness yet, so we just can't go pull the plug on everybody. What the fuck are you waiting for? I hate to be so passionate, like I said, but this is irritating, like I said, and you're going screwing with people's lives, and people are just sitting back like this, and they're like, oh, well, it doesn't affect me, and that's basically what it's coming down to. Yeah, it does. It's going to get you one of these days, and it's going to be real soon, because as soon as awareness is reached, guess what? We're all cannon fodder. We're all fishes in the barrel, and with this system that they got going on, they can zero in on anybody like that. They already got you. Why do you think they need? Every car has every new car's got wireless built in. It's got Bluetooth built in. They're going to pinpoint you one way or the other. Because if your house doesn't have satellite TV on it, your neighbor's does. They can get you right there. You got a phone in your pocket? Yeah, direct. That's right on your head. It's like laser guiding a bomb right to your freaking brain. And just to make sure they got the right person, right? Okay, you think they need facial recognition out of convenience? Really, people? Come on. You think, yeah, it's kind of fun. It's kind of neat. Hey, my phone recognizes my face, but you think it's just for you to unlock your phone? You think you got a biometric a fingerprint sensor, all this other stuff. You got biometrics to unlock your phone. You got fingerprints. You got a retina scanner on there. You got the little fingerprint on the side. You just rub your fingerprint on there. Boom. Hey, it's so and so. Yeah, you stick your eyeball in the camera. Your freaking retinas are red. And yeah, they're not doing anything with that. Don't worry about it. It's just to unlock your phone and make sure that your spouse. Never mind. I'm not going to go there. Forgive me for making a joke. But like I said, I bring it. I'm going to bring the truth. And like I said, is that really what this is all about? Keeping our stuff safe. So we somebody doesn't just pick up our phone and doesn't have the same eyes that we do and the same fingerprints. And pretty soon we're going to be breathing on the damn phone. It's going to analyze our. It's come on. Like I said, it's all for a purpose. It's all for keeping tabs. It's all for surveilling. We're living in a completely police state, and that's because they don't want because the illusion is about to it's going to be Pandora's box. because the governments of the world, excuse me, I got the gentleman I got his the last couple of years resounding in my head. That's all I've heard. But you got the truth, like I said, raining down. Many have subscribed to this, and it's not all bad. It hasn't always been. I'm not going to say that. Like I said, some have used it for it's always going to be questionable, but not everybody's used it in a bad way. That's why it's been the traveling, the all-seeing eye, has always. That's why it's supposed to be controlled by from what I believe, the church, because it was supposed to stay in righteous hands, or at least whatever. The origins of it, like I said, are they go back to a natural source, I'm sure. And it goes back to alchemy, things like that. And alchemy was kind of a side, but the connection to the archangels, to the divine lineage, the divine path, things like that. That was what was I believe understood and held by the church, things like that. And then you got some people started kind of tinkering with that. Started the alchemical process got involved, because then they started realizing that if you introduce and get somebody off balance, you can push them right out. You can push them out really quickly. That's our pH balance. We can only stay sustained within a certain pH level, within certain parameters and boundaries and things like that for a certain amount of time. And as soon as you go outside of that boundary, you're going downhill real quick. And like I said, and then now they got this energy. I mean, you got all this energy. They can reach your mind in any way, shape, and form. I mean, like that. Like I said, so they got this energy coming, and they like I said, they can reach your mind in so many ways, in more ways than you can imagine. And that's all they do. And then they sit back like a bunch of vultures, and they wait for you to basically kill yourself off. And that's what it looks like. But let me tell you, folks, it's systematic murder. Because I got people in my head 24/7 telling me that I'm ugly, telling me that I'm a piece of shit, telling me that my family is this, that, and the other. They literally threatened me this morning because I had sex for the first time in maybe like the third time in like 2 years with a very close female friend of mine. Like I said, a very close partner. Like I said, that we've been together for quite a while, in on and off in many ways, but we've kept one one very important line of respect between us, and that will always be eternally. So I make no bones about, like I said, excuse the pun. I'm not pulling punches on that one. I'm not going to apologize to anybody. I got people in my ear saying that I'm not allowed to have sex. What the fuck? Are you serious? Now, when you go and you start messing with people's sexuality, first they told me that I couldn't masturbate because they're children. They say that their children are on this line watching through my eyes. For what reason are your children, looking through my eyes? And they said that I couldn't masturbate. Then they said I can't have sex for various reasons unto themselves. This is what governance has come down to these days. This is what vigilante justice looks like. This is what the treatment of a divine individual looks like. And they'll sit there and scream to high heaven, I don't care if you're divine, this, that, or the other. Okay, tell the people that then. Like I said, I'm not here to. Look at where you can see. I'm staying in a hotel room because the Red Cross got me a hotel room because my house burned down. The house that I was living with burned down the other day. Somebody died. These people don't even have respect for those that have passed and gone. They said earlier today that the individual that I was living with, my housemate, was burning in hell, and that they basically are so medically advanced that they are still in his head, that his mind is still active, and that they can hear him basically. They use his voice in my head saying that he was basically suffering in hell. And that's what they try to tell me today. That they basically followed his mind down to the pits of hell, and that he's suffering in hell because he was a indecent individual, or excuse me, he was not a decent human being. Basically, he was a criminal and had a criminal past, and was a kind of like a hateful person, and whatever. I don't know what they're subscribing to, but they say that he's burning in hell, and that they said some of the most egregious crap. They said that we are basically they said that they now put our mind basically when we die, our mind goes into a software kind of computer holding program, and that we are kept alive of mind artificially. And that we are aware and suffer through somebody else, like in some way. It is disgusting. This is what they've tried to frighten me with, to get me to kill myself. They said that I need to kill myself for the sake of the world. They said that if I am who I say I am, I need to kill myself, much like Christ. But now what they said, because Christ died for the sins of the world, now you have to do the same thing. But they said, this is the way it's done now. We don't even have to go after you in any way, shape, or form. You just need to kill yourself. And if you don't, guess what? We're going to torture and torment your family, your kids, your children, your daughter. We're going to rape her of mine. That's what they say. They said that they were going to run my son into autism, into every known disease and condition, and they said the plethora is available to us. We manufacture everything right down to this coronavirus. Somebody is claiming that on this line right now, and they say we're going to wipe out all you motherfuckers. That's exactly what they say. And they for the last 5 days to a week, they said you got it, you definitely have it. Fucking die, motherfucker. And that's what I hear all day, every day. And it's because I found out this little piece of knowledge right here, and that is what they hold on to, and that is what the rapture is in a vacuum of knowledge that they've withheld from us, and it is right here. It is in this book right here. This is one of any book. I mean, this is all you need to read. Einstein's Universe by Nigel Calder. This is one of the. I mean, that's all you need. I mean, a book on Einstein, the universe, and the theory of relativity. Let me read the one that'll get you and explain everything. Right here, you got, give me 1 second, excuse me. It's Cosmic Whirlwind, Einstein's Universe. Okay, it says, Albert Einstein revolutionized those ideas of space, time, and motion. In doing so, he solved several cosmic mysteries. Anytime you solve a mystery, or especially a cosmic mystery, you have to be very, very careful. So it says, in doing so, he solved several cosmic mysteries and rewrote the theory of gravity. His equations anticipated our age of nuclear energy, spaceflight, radar, laser beams, and atomic clocks. Einstein pointed to possibilities so far unfulfilled and transcending time, and he laid down rules governing the history and fate of the entire universe. The geneticist J.B.S. Haldane called Einstein the greatest. No, I won't say that. But my purpose here is explanation. Okay, there was another one that I read. That's pretty. That's pretty heavy. Oh, here it is. I'm not sure if it's real Einstein. It says the photograph showing Albert Einstein as a wrinkled old man with hair like a superannuated sheepdogs do not present the real Einstein, but a gentle ghost who haunted Berlin and Princeton, condemned to the treadmill of a futile project for unifying electricity and gravity until his death in 1955. Let me read that again. Condemned to the treadmill of a futile project for unifying electricity and gravity. That is what relativity is. The unification of electricity and gravity. I bet even myself, I didn't realize until today that gravity and electricity were unified. That tells you everything you need to know, and what most people do not understand. Everybody thinks relativity is the understanding of gravity and how it works within the cosmos and solar system. That's all we've ever heard, right? I mean, that's me. Who knew that relativity was actually the unification of electricity and gravity, two completely opposite elements. Electricity is man-made. You have some natural energy, our connection from the cosmos, things like that, our symbiosity, because we have we have an electric rhythm within us. Either one of two things is happening. They're going to try to say that our electric rhythm is unnatural and now we need it to, okay, that's fine. Scale it back. But all they keep doing is advancing and advancing and advancing and advancing this thing, 5G, this, that, the other. Let's keep pushing it higher and higher and higher and higher. They're going to say, there's so many of you, population control. We need 5G to keep you all going. Bullshit. Bull motherfucking shit. That's all I'm going to say. Excuse my language, but you're harming people. And all they want all they want to do to keep it advancing that is so they can keep accessing us, because as they access it, they take away our senses. Why do I keep getting all these old books? Go and get all these old books. I'm gonna get a list of all these books that I have, and I'm gonna annotate very certain ones, And like I said, research methods for social relations. You got the Medical and Health Encyclopedia, Encyclopedia of Common Diseases, the Handy Home Medical Advisor, one right here, Peace from Nervous Suffering. Diseases and Disorders, Disease and Disorder Handbook, Our Human Body. Like I said, I got anything to do with our senses and the central nervous system. The central nervous system is exactly what they're taking off on nowadays, and that's how they're accessing everything through our. We're basically split in half. We got our sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems. That's all you need to know. And one is suggestive, and one is basically suggested by everything that goes on around you, and then the other reacts subconsciously. We don't even think about it. We just react. You see something, and whoa, you move out of the way. You see a baseball flying towards you, you do like this. Okay, you just saw that damn baseball coming flying towards your head, and your body said you need to move, so you moved, right? You registered the baseball. That was you, because you looked and you saw that baseball. You saw that mug come flying to your head. So what'd you do? You duck out of the way. So that the duck is like, yeah, I'm not gonna get cracked in the head by that freaking baseball flying, intercepting my freaking head like a comet, huh? Just 1 second. But basically, like I said, it's basically what they've withheld is this fact that, okay, like I said, I'll get off the thing, but what the world is in danger of, if anything happens to me, this is what the world is in danger of. What they're going to use as the rapture is this fact that has gone pretty much unnoticed, is the fact that, okay, it goes hand in hand with this, okay, the unification of gravity and electricity. Okay, this electricity started in 1850, which is the radio frequency. Watch SpongeBob, the live SpongeBob show that they have for kids on Nickelodeon or whatever it is. They had the live SpongeBob. Look at what they're talking about in there. And like I said, it's radio frequency, and the fact that these kids are pairing up because Bikini Bottom Plankton is going to come in, zap the Bikini Bottom with this radio frequency, and everybody's on their last day. And the kids are sitting here singing Kumbaya. They're picking their little friends that they're going to basically watch the end of the world with, and they're going to try to link up together all the nations of the world, and they're going to try to say that yeah, we're in the last days. We're going to collide. We're going to get annihilated by the sun. We've withheld this thing, and we're not telling everybody because we don't want to have a nationwide panic and all this bullshit. That's why you got this virus out right now, because they're trying to silence people. That's what this virus is for, because they're going to be here long after they lie to us. That's all I'm going to say. This earth is not in any danger at all. It ain't going anywhere. That's why SpaceX was going to launch 42,000 satellites. They can make this earth freaking jog backwards. They just all they have to do is put pillars on every four corners of the earth. Go look at an old map. You see the angels holding up the four angels, four corners of the earth. There's one holding it down right now. That's me. Fuck these people. They're lying to everybody. That's all I'm going to say. Excuse me for being so crass, but like I said, look it. I got it blasted on my neck right there. I know who I am. I know what I'm about. Like I said, they don't like it. I don't care. We're well represented now. Like I said, the people down here on the streets, that's where you'll find me. That's where I got, all this information. That's where I'm holding it down, because like I said, I'm in the streets all day, every day. I ain't scared of these motherfuckers, and I'm never going to be. And they're lying to everybody. This earth is not in danger. You go build 4 big ass mountains, or take 4 continents, and you just energize them like they're doing to us all day, every day. They're using the same energy against us to silence us, but all you do is you make a dipole, like somewhere, if that's the correct, whatever, you build this big mountain that's just super magnetic, and all this other stuff, and then you just beam down a bunch of this resonance into the mountain, instead of beaming it down on the human beings and silencing them and shutting them up. Instead of using this energy on human beings, you just center it somewhere else. It's called propagation. It's called energy propagating. That's all you do. And then when the world starts getting unbalanced, guess what? You build another one somewhere else, and instead of taking off on human beings, you take off on these everything is fixable. You don't have to, they've used this energy against us on purpose, because they've been in our heads, and they're inundating us with this energy. And now they're going to say that, like the puppet masters, we're like marionettes. And the puppet master is the symbiotic. That's bullshit. Nope, because they're up there. They got a satellite beaming down on each one of us right now through our phones, cell phones, and all that bullshit. So you just take the same idea but concentrate it somewhere else. Seriously? Is it that difficult?
Don't film me, I'm naked.
Excuse me. That's my like I said, my female friends here. Like I said, I'm very much human. I'm not going to sit here and lie to everybody. You just saw the humanness come right there. Like I said, I'm not going to erase that. I'm not even, like I said, I'm a human being. I've been incarcerated. Like I said, and like I said, I'm my house is clean at this time. At least my mind is and my conscience is. I account and I will until the day I die. And if these people want to take me out and martyr me, that's fine. You killed me in a systematic way of murder. If not, I'll explain myself to everybody. Call me to the floor. That's all I got to say. And like I said, and if they don't want to do that, then they're just running around systematically, vigilante justice. You know what I mean? The time has elapsed already. I'm calling them out. That's all I got to say. If you don't want to sit there, if you're not going to call me to the floor, correctly, then guess what? You just called, me to the killing floor. That's fine. Make a martyr out of me. Because everything I say, everything I'm saying is completely legit. It's true. It'll check out. Like I said, you don't have to keep inundating people, individuals with this energy. Look what's happening to children, autism, dementia, on elderly people, dementia, children with learning disabilities, children with speech impediments, children that are having a hard time with speech and language and understanding and learning disabilities. They're trying to take away as many of our senses as they can, because us without senses is we're robots. Let me get the book. Like I said, I referenced one of these books. I referenced that book in one of my other videos. Like I said, I'm gonna make sure somebody has all my videos and that all my videos are available. If they take me out long after I'm gone, I'm gonna make sure that these are all available, because like I said, they're lying to everybody. They're gonna say that this is the end of the world, all this stuff, and that it can't be done in any other way. That this energy, there's no way to work around it. That's bull. Like I said, because if they can figure it out by beaming it down on individuals right now and using it through us, you can figure out something else. If you can direct it down on certain individuals and make it work now, you can direct it somewhere else completely. You can't tell me that just because of our makeup and all this other stuff that we're the only thing that can, we may have to absorb some, but can you imagine what life would be like with half of it, or even 3/4 of what we have now? I don't care. Take off a fucking 16th. I don't give a shit. Any little piece that you take off of my head is weight off my shoulders. And see where they're going with that now? Atlas with the weight of the world on his back. Christ carrying the weight of the world. Yeah. See, now they're it's all going to start coming together. They're bearing down the weight of the world on individuals, and they're singling out individuals like myself and other people who they've surveilled our minds, and think that that's fine, but if that's a punishment and that's their way of doling it out, they're using us. Like I said, medical experimentation, we serve a purpose, I guess. Criminals now, we carry the weight of the world. Our bodies get taxed, we go out quicker, we die faster, that's fine. Fuck it, but I'm going to run my mouth. Like I said, that's what I do. Anybody doesn't like it, they already know what they can do with it. I've already told them, you know what I mean? Like, I've been telling them for 5 fucking years already. And like I said, people might not like my mouth, might not like the way I talk, but this is legit. This is true. They're harming our children. Don't let them do it anymore. They're lying to you. It's in all these books. It's in all this information. Please excuse me if I've offended anyone, like I said, but I will account with me and mine. And like I said, they're laughing now because they're saying that that's all it takes. You know what I mean? I've just turned off, everybody. Nope. Don't let them do it. Like I said, it's up to you folks. They're going to keep killing me, and they're going to keep killing you. It's all right here. The rapture is right there. They've held that little pocket, like I said, and that's the vacuum that they use, the fact that gravity and electricity have been combined. So what they did was they took the all-seeing eye, and they go around from nation to nation.